I'm Alex.
I'm James.
And I'm Dan.
We're the Ragamuffins.
And we're here to talk about Slam Dunk Festival 2023. So, at this point, I'll say we're Slam Dunk veterans. We've been many times, had great experiences there, and we're going again this year.
And it's going to be another great experience. I've got a good feeling about this one.
So it's taking place on Saturday, 27th of May in London, Hatfield, and Sunday, 28th of May in Leeds. We're going to Saturday again. We're going to South. Bit of a switch around in the order this year, which is always quite nice. Keep it a bit fresh. Who are you looking forward to, basically? Let's just go off the bat.
Should we kick things off with one of the headliners, a band that I love and I'm very excited to see again, Enter Shikari. I saw them on their recent tour. They had all the great production that you expect from them, a great set list with some new and old stuff in there, and I think it's going to be a really good time. And I have a feeling that this could be the set that turns Alex into a Shikari fan.
I think so too. I mean, regular listeners of the podcast will know that I've sort of struggled in the past with getting into Enter Shikari, and the last two singles they released have been just really good sort of ways of... They've really hooked me in with these latest two songs, and every time I've seen like videos that you've sent us down of Shikari playing live, I've always been sort of blown away by it. And I did see them when we went to Download in 2019, I think, and enjoyed the set, but I'm hoping this is the one that really
with that Download one,
things.
I think we were just... I think it might have been the Sunday, the last day of the festival. It had been raining all weekend. We were just a bit tired, so we didn't get fully involved in that set, but things are going to change at this one.
I think like looking at all the headliners, I've not really made up a decision yet on how I'm going to kind of finish towards the end of the night. But I know that if I go to the Shikari side, mostly from just seeing stuff, again, from videos you sent and from the vlogs, that the production level is going to be insane. They're going to put on a show, and that's always something quite appealing anyway. And I expect that from Slam Dunk headliners. I look back at past years and I think of like who closed the nights off. And I remember big shows, big lighting, big stage presence, and a massive crowd being there to enjoy what has always been a great day of music. So I have no doubt that if I choose to end the night there, it will be fantastic. But then on the flip side, you've got then the Offspring. I think they've got some great nostalgic hits personally for me. Not really listened to too much of their recent stuff, but I feel like that could be like a cool one to mark off the list of like, cool, I like some of the songs from this band when I was younger, and it'll be quite fun to see them live. I know that I think some of the group that we're going with, because once again, we can get a great group to go to this festival because there's so much great appeal to it. But I know that some of the group that we're going with really want to go and see the Offspring. So I think having that opportunity to have two separate bands probably kind of being there to close the majority of the night off is a very strong thing to have. And again, Slam Dunk have done that quite well.
I think Josh in particular has a bit of a dilemma because he loves both Enter Shikari and the Offspring, so he's going to have to make a choice.
I do think those are two really great headliners that offer really different things, though. I feel like if you're not a fan of one, you probably will go and enjoy the other. So I feel like they've balanced it really well, yeah. And I think that's something that sort of runs through a lot of this lineup, is that stages and the way that the sort of the festival's laid out is balanced so well, almost to a fault, because clashes are probably the most heartbreaking thing about Slam Dunk. But yeah, I think we'll get more into the lineup now. But yeah, the balance of this lineup is exceptional, I think.
Who else are you looking forward to seeing?
I'm going to switch things up to move to the heavy stage, which is usually the Jägermeister stage, and talk about Malevolence. I mean, they are one of the most exciting bands in UK heavy music at the moment. I think it would be insane to see that the last time I saw them at Slam Dunk, they were sort of like mid-afternoon, and they've had such an immense growth over the last few years that now they're headlining that stage, and they more than deserve it. Every time we see them, they are just incredible, and the crowd always gets really rowdy. So I think Malev are going to be one of the best bands of the whole day. For me, I think I'm going to be camping out at that stage quite a lot. There's quite a few there that I want to go and see. Fit for a King, they released the Hell We Create last year in October, the first album that kind of got me into them, and off the back of that, I've really started enjoying some of their music. It's just some great metalcore. I feel like with metalcore you can get quite stale, but they offer something a bit more diverse. I know their stage presence is very good from videos I've seen, so that's kind of grabbing me as something else, particularly for me on the heavier side of what I really want to go and see.
I never thought in the year 2023 I'd be saying I'm seeing Kids in Glass Houses live. They broke up bloody years ago. One of my favourite bands when I was like 13 and 14, and it's going to be such a nostalgia trip to see them again. It's billed as like a smart casual celebration of that album, which has so many bangers on it, and I just can't wait. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I think a lot of the bands that are on main stage, well, one of the main stages this year, more than deserve it. And one of those is going to be Holden Absence. I think collectively one of our favourite bands. Every time we see them is one of the best shows that we go to. So for them to be on main stage is more than deserved. I can't wait.
And go and check out the live podcast we did with them when they played Oxford recently. We got to sit down for nearly an hour and talk about all kinds of things. It was a great time. And yeah, go and check that out.
Another band for me that I'm really, really excited about, and I'm very fortunate. I feel very fortunate that bands that we lost in the pandemic years are still getting booked to come back to dates that they weren't able to fulfill. One of those is 4 Years Strong. They are one of my favourite pop punk easycore bands. I think they are legends in the scene, and it feels a bit surreal to know that I'm going to see them. For me,
you've still not seen them live, have you?
No, I haven't, and that their set for me is one of the few on this day that's unmissable. Sort of, I don't care who they clash with, but I will be at that set, no matter what.
And with that one in particular, like, I know you grew up on them quite a lot, and like being in the same household, I never listened to them that much, but I can distinctly recognise riffs from you just playing them in your room constantly over the years. So I think that's one that
I've got 4 Years Strong riffs in my head right now.
Exactly. Like, I think they just stand out so strong with the musicality they can present. And me, I'm going to have to start listening to some of their music because they're marked out on there as a band that I would actually really quite like to see, just off the base of hearing that and how prominent they can be in the scene for it. Another one I'm quite looking forward to was having the first chance to see Boston Manor last year at Trees. That was my first experience for that, and seeing them there at Slam Dunk this year, I think that could be a really, really good show. Always a great band live. I think they really did some great things last year at Trees. You could see the crowd they managed to pull in was fantastic. A lot of great memories from that set, just seeing like that old guy just crowd surfing, and I think they just put on a fantastic show, and I'm just very excited to see them again.
Like with 4 Years Strong, another band that we kind of lost in that pandemic year that I'm very excited to see this time around is Spanish Love Songs.
Yes.
Their album they released just before the pandemic, Brave Faces Everyone, it was basically the soundtrack to my lockdowns. So to finally, after pretty much all these years, it's been 3 years since the pandemic now essentially, to finally see them live, I can't wait.
Another band that for me is unmissable is Trophy Eyes. I don't even know where to begin really. I've not seen them live before. The footage that I've seen online is surreal, and they're a band that have sort of explored every single avenue around pop punk and punk, and like every end of that spectrum between pop and punk that you can imagine they explore, and I think put like just absolutely nail as well. They're one of the most exciting bands in that genre, and I think their set's going to be fantastic.
At time of recording, they've just released a brand new song as well, which sounds a little bit like they're harking back to kind of their older sound a little.
Yeah. So I think they're going to be amazing. I think that stage as a whole is just really well put together. I think that's one of the best things about this year's Slam Dunk is that if you love a subgenre of alternative music enough, you can just be at one stage all day and you'll love everything that you see. I mean, on that stage as well, we've got Movements, Spanish Love Songs, Trophy Eyes, Boston Manor, and headlining it Creeper.
And the men singers are great as well.
And I want to talk about Harriet. They are one of the most exciting bands. I know I say this all the time, but Harriet are just surreal in what they're doing with heavy music. It's so brutal and devastatingly heavy. And I don't think any band's really doing it like they are. And I think they're starting to get more and more opportunities now. We saw them, they opened for Lamb of God recently, getting more and more tours. I think 2023 is going to be their year. And for them to be opening that stage now, I feel like we'll be looking into the future and seeing them moving up to the Slam Dunk.
They're becoming a band in particular that, like you say with Lamb of God in particular, these big bands who are staples of the heavy music scene are noticing them and shouting them out and taking them on tours deliberately. There is a reason for that. This isn't just pure accident or pure chance. The hard work they're putting into it and the music they're pumping out it's very, very good, and the live show that we've seen before, fantastic. So it's definitely a band that you want to see them while you get the chance as well, and be there and say, yeah, I saw them at this point in their career, and go and see it before it's too late, because you won't regret that at all.
I mean, one of the great things about Slumdunk is, even if you don't really have your day planned out, the site is small enough that you can sort of roam anywhere and catch any band at any given time. So I think that's another thing that I'm looking forward to, is sort of I'm trying not to plan my day too much and leaving a bit of it up to whatever sort of mood takes me on the day. I think there's a lot of exciting bands going on the stage that's headlined by the Hunter. I think the Main are going to be amazing. There's a lot of exciting up and coming bands mixed in with like established names in the scene. Yeah, I think the whole day's crafted really well.
Of the bands that you guys are looking forward to, who would you say is like the one that you can't miss?
It's going to be 4 Years Strong for me. They're a band that I've loved, since I first sort of found alternative and pop punk music. So yeah, I can't miss that set.
I think I'm going biased as hell. It's Holding Absence. Just fallen in love with that band ever since first seeing them live, and every time I see them, it's just an incredible show. So I can't miss that.
For me, it's going to be Spanish love songs. Like I said, I loved Brave Faces, Everyone, and then I love their back catalogue as well, since I've delved into that, and having every opportunity to go and see them cancelled and just taken away from me, sometimes at the last moment, which now that I've said out loud is probably going to happen again. So yeah, I can't miss that. I can't miss Spanish love songs again.
But I think with it being such a deep festival, there's so many options each of us could have said. Like I said, we've been multiple times before. We've got 2 past vlogs that you can go and check out and go and see how great an experience it was. And we'll be there again this year. If you're there, come and say hello. And get your ticket.